Have you ever told people about a big dream you had, only to notice that somehow the motivation slowly disappeared? It's a strange thing, isn't it? Sometimes, when we talk too much about our plans, they become harder to finish. This is a story about that. Once upon a time, in a quiet village, there lived a young man named Simon. Simon was full of dreams, big dreams. Almost every week, he felt inspired to start something new. One week, he wanted to open a shop. The next week, he decided he would learn pottery. Then, suddenly, he dreamed of building a house with his own hands. Simon wasn't lazy. He wasn't foolish. He truly wanted to succeed. But he had one habit that quietly destroyed every dream he touched. Before he ever started working, he told everyone, whenever Simon had a new idea, he would walk through the marketplace, his voice full of excitement. "I'm going to open the biggest shop this village has ever seen." People smiled. They clapped. They said encouraging words. Simon felt proud. That night, he slept peacefully, feeling important, as if he'd already accomplished something great. But the next morning, when it was time to actually begin, it felt tiré. The excitement was gone. The drive had vanished. Days passed. The shop never opened. Soon, Simon had a new dream. He gathered people in the village square. "I'm going to become a potter," he announced. "I'll make the most beautiful pots anyone has ever seen." Again, people praised him. They encouraged him. They believed in him. And again, Simon felt wonderful. But a few days later, he never even touched the clay. Weeks turned into years, and the pattern stayed the same. Simon announced his dreams. People celebrated his words. But nothing ever changed. His hands stayed empty, and slowly, a quiet shame began to grow inside him. One evening, Simon sat alone near an old well, his shoulders heavy, his heart tired. An elderly man from the village approached him. The elder was quiet, humble, and respected by everyone. He sat beside Simon and asked gently, "My son, why do you look so troubled?" Simon sighed. "I have so many dreams," he said, "but I never finish anything. I don't understand what's wrong with me." The elder listened carefully, his eyes full of wisdom. "Tenez, Asked, what do you usually do when you have a new idea?" Simon answered quickly, "I tell people. I want them to know. I want them to be proud of me." The elder smiled softly. "Come with me tomorrow morning," he said. "I want to show you something." "Plant this in the soil," he said. Simon dug a small hole and carefully covered the seed with earth. "Look," he said loudly, "this seed will become a great tree someday." The children clapped. They smiled. The elder then placed the seed on top of a rock and walked away. Days passed. The elder quietly watered the seed that was buried in the soil. He didn't talk about it. He didn't show it to anyone. He just nurtured it. Slowly, a tiny green shoot appeared. Week after week, it grew stronger and healthier. Meanwhile, the seed on the rock just sat there. It dried under the sun. Birds came and picked at it. It never grew. It was just a promise that never took root. After several weeks, Simon stood beside a small, healthy plant. The elder spoke gently. "A seed needs silence to grow," he said. "It needs the darkness of the soil. It needs your quiet patience." He pointed to the rock. "If you leave it in the open, if you talk about it too much, it dries out. It never becomes a tree." Something shifted inside Simon. He finally began to understand. The elder continued, "When you share your dreams too early, your mind feels rewarded before the work is done. Praise feels feel. The applause feels like achievement, so your heart loses the fire to continue. The energy meant for action gets wasted on words. Simon lowered his head. He finally understood. That night, he made a decision. This time, he would do things differently. He chose one simple goal: to build a wooden chair. He told no one. There were no announcements, no searching for applause. Every evening, he worked quietly with the wood. Some days were exciting, some days were exhausting, but no one expected anything from him. There was no pressure. It was only the work. Weeks passed. The chair slowly took shape. Simon made mistakes, and he fixed them. He learned. When the chair was finally finished, he sat on it, and for the first time, he felt a real, deep pride. Not the hollow pride of words, but the solid pride of effort. One morning, a neighbor noticed the chair. "This is beautiful," he said. "When did you make it?" Simon smiled quietly. "I've been working on it." The neighbor was surprised. "You never told anyone." Simon nodded. "I wanted to finish first." From that day on, Simon worked in silence. A table, a shelf, a stool. Years passed. He became known as a skilled craftsman, not because he talked, but because his work spoke for itself. Now, ask yourself, how many of your own dreams have you announced too early? How many goals faded away because the praise came before the effort? Keep your dreams quiet. Protect them like a fragile seed. Let your work speak when it's ready. The world doesn't need to hear what you're building. It only needs to see what you've built. If this story resonated with you, share it with someone who might need to hear it. And remember, let the seed grow in silence. When the tree is strong, everyone will see it without you ever saying a word. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.